Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Ikigai Awakening Podcast, a sacred space where we explore purpose, transformation, and the magic of becoming who you were always meant to be. I'm your host, Narina Mudli, coach, healer, author, and fellow traveler on the winding path of awakening. Here, we hold space for the stories that shape us, stories of grief and grace, resilience and renewal, and the powerful re-remembering of self that happens when we choose to rise. In this episode, we begin with a metaphor close to my heart. Life is like a mountain. There are moments where we feel on top of the world, victorious, exhilarated, free, and there are moments where we are deep in the valley, unsure if we'll make it through. But with each step, we grow stronger. With each breath, we move closer to the summit of our soul's becoming. Today, I am deeply honored to welcome a woman whose life is both an external and internal summit. Angela Yeung is a visionary leader, humanitarian, mountaineer, and fierce advocate against gender-based violence. She is the second South African woman in history to summit Mount Everest, and before that, she climbed Mount Kilimanjaro twice, once in 2018 and again in 2019, each time as part of a fundraising mission to uplift vulnerable communities. These were not symbolic gestures. Angela trained rigorously for months, preparing mind, body, and spirit for the journey, and always with a cause in her heart. She's also a devoted Nichiren Buddhist, and her spiritual practice infuses her activism and leadership with a grounded, radiant power. Angela, welcome to the Ikigai Awakening Podcast. It is such a blessing to have you open the sacred journey with us.
Thank you, Narina. Thank you for having me. I'm so honored to be here with you.
I would like for us to talk about what led you to climb a mountain. What led you? I know you've climbed Kilimanjaro in 2018 and 2019. What made you climb a mountain from being a jewelry designer and running your own jewelry business? What was the turning point?
So going back to 2017, that was the first time I met my biological mother after 30 years of constantly looking for her and really going through a lot of hardship being a girl child. So I actually felt that I have so much empathy with the children growing up these days, and especially girls. So that's why when Track for Mandela, they told me they climbing Kilimanjaro for caring for girls. Girls, they cannot afford sanitary pads. And they asked me, Angela, would you like to be part of this course? And I said, yes, of course. Because after I met my mother, I felt that your cup is full. You can only give when your cup is full.
Yeah.
And you can't be giving and actually you are not full yourself. So that's why I felt the timing was right for me to climb Kilimanjaro. And I climbed 2018 and 2019 twice for caring for girls. They are missing schools like 50 days a year. So being a girl child, it's not easy.
Yes. Would you like to share a little bit about your upbringing or your childhood as a little girl? I remember you once told me about a time where you were under your dad's desk, where your dad kept you at work. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. So my mother left me when I was only 3 years old. And one day, my dad and myself, my dad was carrying me and we went home and realized my mom already gone and left us. And we ran all the way to the airport and realized that she's already gone. And those days, 40, 50 years ago, there's no Wi-Fi, no email, no fax even. There's no cell phone. And once a person's gone, it's gone. And you write them a letter. It might take like a whole month to reply. And so when we realized that she's not going to be part of our life, I have to be able to adopt my dad's life. He's working every day. I have to sleep under his office desk and he have to hide me away just to make sure that no one really see me while he's working. And holiday was terrible. Holidays, I have to really hide under that desk most of the time until he finished work. And when I finish school, everybody will be fetched by their parents, but I have to wait. And I have to make friends with the cleaning lady just to make sure that I have someone to talk to. And my dad didn't know how to look after me, so he would put a short sleeve over a long sleeve and making sure that I look pretty, and I'll put a skirt, but he'll worry that I'm catching a cold, and he will put a long pants under the skirt. So people think, oh my goodness, why are you dragging this little girl around?
And this was in Hong Kong, right?
Yes, that was in Hong Kong.
But I remember you also said that people wanted him to give you up for adoption. But
exactly.
he refused.
Yes,
right?
Exactly. Yeah. And even actually our family told him, you just don't know how to look after this little girl. Why don't you just leave her at the orphanage? Or that we have a family member, she's actually have mental illness. And they will ask him, why don't you just leave Angela with her? So you don't need to drag her around like a little monkey. So that's how I've been brought up when I was much smaller, much younger. And yeah, so life was really tough. There's no, you learn to adapt.
Yes.
You learn not to ask for anything and not to be taking things for granted.
Yes.
I think that's how I've been brought up since I was small.
And then obviously you're a Nichiren Buddhist.
Mm.
And I remember again that your family were also Buddhists.
Yes.
Did that have any influence in how strong you were and how you faced what you had to face?
Absolutely. I think that's where my faith come into life. And it is all about, it's not about like when you're chanting and everything will go exactly the way that you want it.
Yeah.
It is not. It is actually giving you more courage.
And strength.
Yeah. To be able to face your obstacle in life.
Right.
And I think that's how the inner strength that I come from since I was small.
So you obviously developed that resilience and inner strength from the time you were a very young girl.
Very, very young
because
girl.
of the circumstances.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was forced into that circumstances. I have no choice.
Yes.
And I learned how to grow myself out of that.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was really, really tough at that time. You don't know how to communicate better.
Yeah.
And you wasn't taught to be. There's so many things I have to unlearn and learn when I grow up. And going back to the Buddhism that I've practiced, and I felt I was so fortunate to have the right practice in my life. So I have the right attitude when things goes wrong.
Yeah.
I don't blame anybody. I never blame that my mom was never there. But, you make the most of anything that happened.
Yeah. And I suppose with your added faith, that just makes it a little bit easier.
Exactly.
And at what age did you come to South Africa?
I was 13. I just turned 13.
And you stayed in?
In Bloemfontein.
Okay.
Yes, ek verstaan Afrikaans.
So can you speak Afrikaans?
Yeah, bietjie Afrikaans. So yeah, I understand I think especially when I was back in Bloem, and I picked it up very quickly because you were still young and, you try to merge the whole environment and you want to be part of it. So yeah, we came here because Hong Kong has to return back to China. And before 1997, most people who could actually immigrate in Hong Kong, they will go to another country and immigrate. And that's what happened. So I came here during apartheid. So it's been 35 years. I think I'll never look back, and this is home.
Okay. And then tell us, how did you become a jewelry designer, and how did Impilo start? How did you find?
Yeah, I think it's people would never believe that. How could it happen, I think going back to the time when I was in varsity, I have to really work hard. And when everybody going on holidays, I will have to sell acupuncture inner soul. And I will go to a mall or a ranch show like Easter, 4 days, you stand there, you sell. I will have to bow down, ask, would you like to try this inner soul? And it's really healthy for you. You take off people's shoes and you put this inner soul, and they feel, oh, this is actually really comfortable. And they would buy one pair. It was like, I still remember it was 35 Rand. My commission is only 5 Rand.
Oh.
And how many souls that you need to sell to have proper pocket money for that year.
Yes.
So every time when I finish work, I try to wash my hands, and that smell of poverty, you can never wash it away. That smell stays in your nails.
Yeah.
With people's feet.
Sure.
That's how I started to work. And I think my friend was seeing me that I really struggled. And they said to me, you know what? My mom is actually working in a jewelry store, and they need someone who can speak Chinese. Can you come and help them? And I say, of course, and I don't have to bow down and change people's shoes. And, you can look pretty and go and sell jewelry. But when the tourists come, I would never say to them, you know what? And they ask me, Angela, where's the bathroom? I would never go and tell them, oh, that's the bathroom. I actually took them to the bathroom and make sure they come back to the tour safely.
Yeah.
Without fail, I always have really good compliment from the tourists.
Okay.
And just one day, my manager says to me, hey, Angela, we actually have another department selling diamond. Would you like to come and help us, like a translator? Angela have never seen a diamond in her life. And that's what happened. That's how I started to be in the jewelry business, understand. Of course, I have to study more. You can't just go there and speak to your client and you actually don't know what you're talking about. So educating myself and more learn, you just learn on you learn your way up.
Yes.
And that's how I've been working for the last 20 years.
It's clear to me that you have used all of the pain, all of the suffering, all of the hardship into some kind of growth and resilience, and it's motivated you to do big things. I mean, you've done big things. Climbing a mountain, climbing Everest is huge. Let's go back to the mountain. Let's talk about Kilimanjaro. And I know that you're a huge advocate for gender-based violence. How did that tie in with your climb?
Okay, so climbing for a course was the beginning of the climb.
Right.
That's how I started. And I think if I don't have a why, I don't know how to climb the mountain. Because if you don't have a reason, it is not just the accolade that you're going to get out of the mountain.
Yes.
But having a reason, having a why, that just pushed me through all the way. And I know I could do it for a bigger reason. So in 2020, during COVID, I was seeing people were suffering. And I said to myself, what can we do? What can I do? And we started a campaign from food drive, asking people if they can just drop off any food. And people were coming all over and dropping food. And I received 10 tons of food.
Wow.
And who's Angela to give out the food? So that motivated me to start the Impilo Collection Foundation.
Yes.
Impilo means live in isiZulu. Then later on, we gave out to the GBV shelter, OH home and orphanage. That's how we divided those food. And later we received 1 ton of sanitary pads. And we gave out to the HIV positive home and also special girls. And when I asked them who you would like to be one day, and they're so sweet. They say they want to be like me. And I thought, are you serious? But it's so sweet. And you start talking to them. And then one of the girls actually said to me, Auntie Angela, next time when you come, can you bring us some bras? That's how this conversation started. And I thought, oh, you need bras. And then the manager says to us, okay, because they're not wearing a bra, that's why perpetrators see that as an invitation of sexual attention. That's how, and I realized then the penny dropped.
Yes.
We need bras. And that year, there was 2,700 women die from gender-based violence. Then I thought, okay, we're going to collect 2,700 bras. And we came back with 6,200 bras.
Obviously, you raised all of those bras. And then when did the thought cross your mind to climb the mountain? Was it something that was always in the back of your mind? Was it something you always thought about? Or was it only then that the opportunity arose?
Okay, I think because before that, I've already climbed for Caring for Girls.
Oh, yes, okay.
Yes, and that's why when we received the 6,200 bras, we laid out at the Constitutional Hill.
Okay.
And then that's where the media start flooding in, and they realize, wow, by the woman's gel, that you see all these bras actually setting like right next to it. And we hand in a memorandum to the Department of Safety. That's how we started. I think the media noticing what we're doing.
Oh, I see.
And then my team were saying, after we gave out the 6,200 bra to 3,100 women, I realized we need to have this campaign called Empower Her. And then that's how I climbed 6,200 meters to gain the awareness of the Empower Her campaign.
Okay.
That's what we did to tie up with the foundation. So later on we received 10,000 liters of sanitizer. We gave out to 60,000 learners in the country. And we received hospital bed, like we gave out to some of the hospitals. And during COVID was tough. And also we received like a whole house of uniform and gave to the Durban flood at that time. Durban had a big flood. And we gave out the whole house of uniform. So the last 4 years and almost 5 years now coming, we impacted almost 100,000 people through our foundation.
So obviously externally you've had to take care of yourself, or rather internally you've had to take care of yourself through your spirituality, through the chanting, with your Buddhism. And I know that to prepare to climb a mountain takes a lot of rigorous, hard work, training. It's mental and physical.
Yes.
How did you do that? How did you prepare for that and still run your business and still raise funds for women? How did you find the balance? Because you're a wife and you're a mother.
Yes.
And you're a business owner.
I can't do this on my own. I have to have people like you,
Yes.
People who understand that what I stand for, and people who would like to be part of the foundation. We call them social warrior.
Yes.
And we have meetings and we have planning we'll be able to like go out there and do distribution. Now some of the distribution, I don't even have to be there anymore. That's how we build. I think it's not easy. So going back to the training, you sacrifice a lot of time before and after work. I go train and make sure that I'm strong enough. I learn how to do technique. And I think a lot of time I actually fell. You might not see the fell. You only, like now people will notice that I actually climb Everest. But in between time, I have sciatica going down to my knee, going down to my toes, that sleepless night.
Yes.
And you cry, you doubting yourself. Is this really for me, And different noises, even people will come and tell you, what happened if you die? Or what happened if something happened to you? What's going to happen to your husband, And a lot of guilt coming through. It's not easy,
Yes. And what were your support systems like? Because obviously your husband must be extremely supportive, What was that like? Where did you get the support from, the mental well-being, other than your chanting? How did you handle that?
Yeah, I really need to surround myself with strong people, like my mentor from my Buddhist practice. She also suffered with illnesses, but she's there for me. She was there every time when I go climb. She actually sent me off to the airport when I was climbing Kilimanjaro, and she's just really showing me support. And I think having strong women around you,
yes,
that is goal.
Yes,
yeah.
And tell us a little bit about when you were on the mountain. Was there ever a time where you really wanted to give up, where you doubted whether you'd be able to go further, and what kept you going?
Sometimes, especially on the advanced base camp, we spend a lot of time there and waiting for the summer period, summer window. So you only have that certain window. That's a few days. You go up, you're able to carry on going up until you get to the point you summer pushed. So what I did, I was doing a lot of climatizations. Some people, of course, different climber have different way of approach the mountain. They don't need to climb because they're much fitter than me. Angela is not fit. I'm not like super fit like them. But what I do, I'll make sure I climatize. I go up, I come down, I go down, I come back down, up every day without fail.
Wow.
People will park there and they will rest the day. No, Angela not. Angela will go, make sure she will do her homework, make sure she come back. If I get 2 hours climb, I go 2 hours. If I can get 3 hours, I get 3 hours. That's how the consistency that makes me keep pushing. Of course, when the day sometimes was windy at the base camp, all you can hear is this. You in the tent, you can hear the whole night was bang, 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 because the wind was blowing on your tent and it's intense. You can't sleep. You put on the earplug, you think you can sleep. It's impossible because the wind is so strong and the air dropped. You try to breathe, you're not breathing any air. You're just doing the motion.
Wow.
And I felt I was disappearing because there's no Wi-Fi, there's no internet. I have no one to talk to. The whole night, you're on your own. You hear avalanche. That rock is coming down because the wind is so hard. And you're asking yourself, why would you do this to yourself?
And what would you tell yourself? What would you say? Or what kept you going in those moments?
I really have to dig deep. And I said to myself, you can't do this. You got this, Angela. You can go through this. The next day, you will think about this. Okay, I think I look further. I have hope. I look through it, and I say to myself, maybe one day I will look back. This is what happened.
Yeah.
I always try to be in the moment when I could. You compartmentalize it. You look further.
Yes.
That's how the strategy that I have most of the time. That's how I climb this mountain.
And I guess if you look at climbing a mountain as a metaphor,
Exactly.
that's life. There's challenges all the way. There's always going to be challenges, but then there's also moments of pure exhilaration and that wonderful feeling of achieving and reaching your goal. What did it feel like when you knew that you'd achieved it, that you were there, that you made it?
You know what? Before I summit that night, I was exhausted. I was finished. And I asked my shepherd, I said to him, can we stay one more night before we push? And he says to me, no, you negotiate too much.
Oh no.
We're not going to sleep, like rest at night and then go. That means I'm not going to summit. I might die there. But you know what? I think the universe was really listening to me. And because I was climbing for a better course, I was climbing with other people. At the same time, I actually asked for help. I was testing my husband and says to him, please chant for me. Please ask everybody to chant for me. I needed this. I needed the strength. And I knowing people were doing it for me. At the same time, when I came back, I only realized the whole continent was chanting for me. And that's why it carried me. And when I get to, like, going back to the summit, and my shepherd says to me, you know what, we have typhoon is coming. I said, what is typhoon? So it's typhoon.
Yeah. So
typhoon is coming. We are going down. We get to 8,300 meters. I've got another 500 meters to go. We're going down. I said to myself, this is another story that I'm going to tell, Am I coming back? I asked myself that time. I felt, I'm not coming back. And I have a better reason to climb because I'm climbing for a history.
Yes.
Because last woman who climbed from the north side, it was 26 years ago from South Africa. So I was
the second woman, right?
Yes. Yeah. I was following her step and following her history to coming back here. I'm not going to give up. Like, the whole time you have all this conversation with yourself. You have hope. You put yourself down. You have doubts. You're feeling excited. So it's all mixed feeling at that moment, But I was really chanting. I said to myself, no, I have a big reason to be here. Please don't let me down. And the next day, my shepherd says to me, we're going to push. We have a window period that it's open. Tonight, we're going to push. Like, rest now, eat well. Or not, you don't even eat well.
I wanted to ask you, what do you eat on the mountain?
Yeah. What is well? You actually eat. That's what this is. You drink, but you can't even pee. You're in the tent, you pee, and you see your pee bottle, it's frozen. -40, -50, you get up. And it was crazy. And yeah, you really just survive. And when we get pushing to the dead zone, and I see a dead body right next to me, yeah, you think, oh wow, you might see dead body, but when you really see the dead body, you really shit yourself.
It was a stark reminder that could be you.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I chanted, I bow, I said to myself, respect them, because, there are people who come before you, respect them, actually have a conversation with them. I felt like I was asking, did you actually rest? Did you rest it? Are you in peace? Because this place is rough, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very spiritual journey that I went through. It's crazy, it's beyond.
Yeah, I remember once somebody said to me, and this was someone that climbed Kilimanjaro, it was actually a couple, and she said to me, when you're climbing the mountain, it's between you and God and nobody else. It doesn't matter how many other people are around you, it is between you and God. And I think that's really what you're saying. It's you're alone, and you're
alone. The people,
it's just you, God, and
people don't want to. They don't have the capacity.
Yes. Yeah.
To care for you. It's like you're on your own.
Yeah.
And it's cruel.
And how many days did it take?
50 days.
50?
Yeah.
Wow.
50 days on the mountain.
So that's it. You're not climbing. You don't know.
Yeah.
I think in a year's time.
Yeah. Let me focus on the bra drive, what we are doing now. We are busy collecting 8,849 bras.
Because that's
the height of Mount Everest.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, we still got another 2,000 to go.
Okay. And how are you going about doing this? How maybe tell us a little bit about that and how people can get involved if they'd like to.
Yes. So on our website, you can actually find the dropping point. It's www.impilo, IMPILO, foundation.org, O-R-G-O. So impilofoundation.org. You can find out the drop-off point. You can drop any of your loved bra, or you can donate 25 Rand a new bra.
Okay.
So the woman, GBV shelters, the victims are able to receive a new bra.
Okay. And where to from here? You've now summited the mountain. You're busy with getting these bras. What's next? What's next for Angela?
Yeah, everybody asks that. I think let me just live in the moment for now, and then I will have another plan coming. Yeah, I think that's one step at a time.
And tell me, how does your daughter see you? It must be huge to say to people, my mother's climbed Everest.
I hope she's proud.
I'm sure she is.
Yeah, I think she's proud. Yeah, I think she's very proud of me. She did say she's very proud. I hope that I can be the example for her, being a strong woman.
I think you are.
Being someone who can be independent. And you don't need anybody else to give you your happiness.
It's all within, right?
Yes, you don't need another person to bless you.
Yes.
But you can generate that happiness yourself. So then you can attract the right people in your life.
Yes.
I think, having the right attitude of life, that's important.
And makes all the difference.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. And what would you say to other young women or young girls, actually, that have dreams? I know probably similar to what you've just said now, but what would your message be to other young girls and maybe girls that don't really see much of a future, especially in this country, who are faced every day with things like gender-based violence and all the horrible things that happen Yeah.
It's very difficult, you know what? I think I could understand. It's like your basic need is not even, you can't even achieve your basic need. But it's just really believing in yourself, because the person who believes in themselves, you know, it's like that rough diamond within yourself. You need to polish it to be able to shine. And really, you know, don't be scared to dream big. But, you know, you might not be able to tell people this is actually what I want to do. But like one step, a little step every day, and believing and remember that's what you've been dreaming of. You can be anything.
Now, I know that you spoke about wanting to find your mother, and eventually you did find her.
Yes.
Tell us about that a little bit, if you'd like to share that, because I think it was such a special moment and such a pivotal moment for you in your life.
It was. I think the whole time you were looking for that gap, and you think, you try to fill that gap, and you always think that there's something it's not fulfilling there. But when the timing was right, of course, like I say, I have really good friends, and she says to me she will find my mom like a pin in the ocean, and she actually really helped me to do that. And when I met her, I was so worried that she will reject me again. And I waited. And I waited that moment to come, and really I didn't have any expectation at that time.
And this was in Japan?
Yes.
How long ago was it?
It's 2017.
Okay.
2017, so it's almost like how many years now? It's almost 7 years. Yeah. And it was tough. It was really, really tough, and have no expectations, worry that I will be rejected again. And when I went, we didn't even tell her that we're coming. So, because my friend told her that I'm looking for her, but she knew that I was looking for her. And the whole time, and tried to get in touch with her, I couldn't. The email's not going through. When I call her, my Japanese is so limited that I cannot express myself so much to her. But it's funny that when my mom says anything, I will understand her. Like, she speaks Japanese, so everybody speaks Japanese, but my mom speaks, I will understand. And that kind of connection that you have with your mom, it's special.
Yes.
It's where the genes come.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's how, like, the generations of my mom, my daughter, myself, we are all artists. You know, and I didn't even know this woman for a bowl of soap. She's actually an antique dealer. So it's actually running through our genes.
Yes.
But it was the day that I met her, it was her birthday. I didn't even know this woman for a bowl of soap. And she told me, you know, today it's actually my birthday. What a gift, you know, after 30 years, the day you met her. And the prayer was answered. My chanting was really fulfilled.
And maybe for her as well, being her birthday, you were a gift to her.
Yes.
You know, so,
yes, she says that. She says I was the best gift for her birthday. Yeah. And it was a really pivotal moment that I had.
Yeah.
And believing in faith.
Yes, always. Always. So now I see there's so much determination, so much courage, and you know, you're such an example to so many women, young and old. How would you get other women? How would you motivate other women if you were in front of a whole group of women? What is it that you would say in just maybe 2 sentences?
just really be yourself. Really be yourself and be comfortable with yourself. And also, I think what's magical is no matter how hard life was, I have the capacity to smile. Smile. It's something very simple. And you can, that change your life. It's easy to complain, but just smile and walk through it.
Yeah. You've done big things, but you've also done some really fun things. Like I know you do ballroom dancing and you're quite the ballroom dancer.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that and how you got into ballroom dancing from...
I think after my divorce, because like really not having a mother in my life, relationship was a battle. You don't know how to manage your relationship.
Yeah.
And there's no one there to actually give you guidance. It was hard. So after the divorce, and I said to myself, what is that I really wanted to do and make me happy? And I went there. And I think the dancing was actually helped me through everything. Even like when I was training hard for the mountain, that day when I have to go for dancing lessons, that was the best time for the whole week. That's what I'm really looking forward to. I think being kind to yourself, that's something. It's not about like eating the best food, having the best body. But, emotionally, you need to be kind to yourself. That's where the magic comes.
Yeah, and you said to fill your cup.
Yes.
Which is, I guess, what you're doing.
Yes.
Yes. And tell us about your tea ceremonies. I was fortunate. I was invited to one of these tea ceremonies. So...
Yes. Okay, so it's like 5 elements that you actually learn when you have tea. And I think that's the fire, the air, the water, the earth, that's the teacups that you're actually drinking from. And also, I think, and also the metal is where how we fire the tea leaves. That's something that I'm always passionate about. I think the Japanese culture that I have, I always wanted to learn more about it. That's why I went into the tea ceremony and went to Japan to study to be a tea master. Yeah, that's something that always very special when you go to Japan. And that time I was training for my first 8,000 meters. Before I went to climb, I was in Japan. In sea level, I was wearing a mask to run. It's a sports mask. You breathe heavy and you breathe out heavy to make sure that you try to simulate what you are doing on the mountain at the sea level. So it was very harsh for my body. During the time when I was in the tea farm, I went for the tea classes. At the same time, I train every day. I run around the tea farms. It was the best time in my life. And I felt it was really special because I'm there at my mother's country. That's where she born, and that's part of me as well.
When you talk like this, it looks to me like you've got the balance right. You've managed to take care of yourself, body, mind, and soul. Whenever I've seen you, you're always very well presented. Outside, you look good. But I can see and I know that obviously climbing Everest had taken its toll on your skin and all of those things. What do you do? How do you mend from there? How do you heal yourself outwardly in terms of your skincare and get back to where you were? Because it's hard.
It is.
The climate doesn't allow for all of that. I know you're an ambassador for a skincare brand as well.
Yes. I think like really just look after myself from eating, from the food that I eat.
Okay.
That's how I start. And nourishing myself.
Okay.
and then of course chanting will be like the best things to heal. Just really sit there and reflect. I'm still reflecting my climb, I just came back from 3 weeks.
Yes.
So it's been really fresh and people wants to know about it, like running around, try to tell the story. But at the same time, I'm reflecting a lot.
Yes. Yes. And I'm sure that there's also a need for some quiet time as well.
Yes.
Yes. Have you had any quiet time?
Yes, I did. I think also my body tell me to be quiet time.
Yes.
To take some quiet time. So I have a bad flu coming back. It wasn't present, but I'm getting much better now.
No, that's great. Angela, it's been such a pleasure and such an honor to have you here today. I think like I say, you will motivate and continue to motivate women and young girls for generations to come with all that you've done, all that you've achieved. And again, like I see the balance, you found the balance. It's been really, really awesome to have you here. And I want to thank you for taking the time out to come and share with us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm so special to be here at the first episode, right?
Yes. And also, I'm hoping that in the future we can have a special segment just on Nichiren Buddhism, which you have introduced me to. So it would be wonderful to maybe talk about that at another time.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
If this conversation lit a spark within you, I invite you to follow and share the Ikigai Awakening podcast. You'll find the links to Angela's work, her GBV advocacy, and her mountain missions in the show notes. And if you're feeling the call to explore your own purpose, healing, and next chapter, I would love to walk alongside with you. Until next time, remember, you are not alone, you are not lost, you are just climbing. Thank you.